Good morning, everybody. Uh, I don't have much to share. Actually, all those things which have been told by previous speakers, I endorse fully. One is safety culture, which is really missing. Everybody has been emphasizing safety culture. I also want to give an example. One example how the safety culture should work. You know, I have been to US once. There was a junction, totally deserted junction. All four sides, nobody is there. Only there was a board which says stop and go. And I have personally seen a car driver. He came there, stopped, and then proceeded. So that should be the culture which we are talking about. जो हमारे previous speaker बोल रहे थे कि कोई देख रहा है कि नहीं देख रहा है, that should not matter. At least I am watching myself. That should be the feeling. And what I have always seen, now we talk about process safety. I look at in two different views. You know, process safety in itself, process may be safe. Yes, you design the process to be safe. You built in lot of interlocks, alarms, everything. But we sometimes forget the basics. You know, process is safe, but then what is coming out of the process? Like suppose some process is there which is giving some emissions. Whether those are safe to the climate and human being or the planet, that also has to be part of the process safety. Process safety in two parts. Process in itself is safe, and process is safe for the environment, human beings, and the planet. They are two different things. Then, as many people have been telling, you know, what I have realized while coming in safety, we are not targeting the training to the real group, you know, that right group should be targeted. Many people have been telling the accidents take place because your contract labor is not properly trained. How many we are training the contract labor? We are selecting the contractor, PQC is there, contractor selected. But how much control we have on the contract labor which is being engaged for the job? No, we don't have any control on that. Therefore, I always feel that toolbox talk is very, very important because those contract labor you cannot give training. Actually, when you want to get the job done, मैं हमेशा एक बात सोचता रहा हूँ कि जिस इंसान से आप काम करा रहे हैं, जिस ग्रुप से आप काम करा रहे हैं, you should talk to them in their language which they understand. अगर आप किसी प्रोजेक्ट को एक्सपीडिएट करना चाहते हैं, आप उनसे CPM PERT की बात करेंगे, it will not work. You have to talk to them in the language which they understand. And therefore, this toolbox talks is very, very important in the sense when you start the job, you should address that contract worker team जो वो काम कर रही है, उसको बताना है इसमें क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना है, कैसे करना है. Another thing, हम एक बार एक प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे थे, long back I was doing something, some hot work. I thought it's a very risky job. Let me put some 5-6 people with the fire extinguishers. Something goes wrong, they will immediately firefighting. Suddenly it came to my mind whether they are trained to operate that equipment or not. Now what happens, you have put so many people there, so many firefighting equipments are there, but then there is an emergency, you find they are not trained to operate them. So those basic things we have to keep in mind. What I always feel, safety and firefighting, they are two different things. We are mixing them. Safety and firefighting are totally different. Safety is pre-accident, firefighting is post-accident. And safety is by choice. Firefighting is by compulsion. You have to fight compulsion. How much we are investing in firefighting and how much we are investing in safety? People, you should think on this. Are we investing enough in safety or in firefighting? And the last thing which I was to emphasize, lapse is a lapse. People say कि छोटा lapse है, बड़ा lapse है, नहीं. बहुत सारे बड़े accident हुए हैं, major accidents, which are caused due to a very simple lapse. All of you must be aware of that. A simple lapse can be a devastating accident. So, when came to safety, I analyzed why my accidents are taking place. Around 90% cases, 85-95% cases I found, this is only because of non-adherence to SOPs. Non-adherence to SOPs is the one single cause which results in 90% of accidents. Then I analyzed why SOPs are not being adhered to. एक तो कल्चर वाली बात हो गई। दूसरा, मैंने इसमें 5 चीजों में डिवाइड किया है। एक तो ये कि आपकी लैक ऑफ नॉलेज, कि जो टीम काम कर रही है उसे पता ही नहीं है कि एसओपी है भी है कि नहीं इस चीज के लिए, whether this particular work has some SOP or not known. Sometimes SOP किसी ना किसी को कॉस्ट करती है, या तो किसी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को कॉस्ट करेगी, so contractor will try to save the cost, so he will not follow the SOP, it is costing someone. Then it may be, there may be a business loss, as many people have been telling, साहब भी बोल रहे थे अभी कि नहीं business loss हो रहा है, हमें ऑपरेशन पहले करना है, so there is a conflict always, and SOP versus loss of business. And at times SOP, following SOP may delay your project. You follow the SOP, it may take 2 days, you don't follow SOP, you can complete in 1 day. So those things have to be addressed, and I always feel that we should make a culture, if there is a SOP, it is to be followed in letter and spirit blindly. Please do not apply your mind. Even if you feel that there are certain steps which are redundant or ridiculous not to be followed, but please at that point in time follow it. And if you want to modification of SOP or something, address it separately, take it separately and try to get the SOP modified, but no, you cannot deviate the SOP. Follow it blindly. That is my only request to everybody. If you want to avoid the accidents, SOP has to be followed, and if you want to change it, go at the appropriate platform and get it modified. But otherwise, it has to be followed. Correct? So now I leave it, the platform to my speakers.